In my last video with ACC, I was trying to get my safety rating up so I could do some low fuel motorsport races, but getting 80 safety rating isn't the only thing you need. You need a few other things. So obviously you need the minimum of 80 safety rating, but you also need to do 7 consecutive laps that are all under 2 minutes 4 seconds and 2 tenths, so 2:04.2. But yeah, this was my best lap. So as you see, as we head into Cox, braking just at the 50, going all on the curb, and then just you need to be careful not to invalidate or it will ruin this entire thing, and you've got to do a whole another 7 laps. So then again, through Maggots and Beckett's, brake just after the curb on the left. I think I go too wide for Beckett, so I take a tight line, which just destroys my exit. So that probably cost me a load of time, but again, I'm under the 2:04, so it's fine. As we go down, I think this is the Hanger Straight, and then going into Stowe, braking just before that curb on the left, and then just waiting to pick up the throttle until you can just go fully flat, and then heading down to Vale, I think this is. And then yeah, braking on the curb on the right, making sure to get as close to that curb, cutting that inside corner, and then waiting, and yeah, just get on the throttle. It's all flat here. Then heading into the Formula 1 turn 1, just a little brake and lift, and then just back on throttle, and then flat for this left-hander. Braking on the curb and on the left, trying to get as close to that curb, keeping it fairly tight but then opening it up a little bit. You can actually just go like full throttle straight away because you get really good traction out of that left-hander. Same here, just flat over that. Then heading down on the straight to Brooklands, braking just before that little styrofoam barrier on the right. Heading into Luffield, just keeping it very tight, trying to set up a bit of an exit. Yeah, that was a 2:01.047, so I was close to getting a 2-minute flat, but it's fine. And the good thing as well, this brings up your consistency rating. So then the race for the low fuel motorsports, there was only a few I could participate in, and one of them was GT4s at the Nürburgring. I just wanted to get a bit of practice in, so because I've never driven GT4s in a set of course or competitor zone, and I haven't really driven much of the Nürburgring. I've only driven it when it's with the Nordschleife and you miss out a section of it. This was the best lap during practice. Braking at where the pit exit line comes across in the middle, and just holding the brakes. I do go deep. Here again, I don't know my braking point for this turn, so I always end up going deep, but I managed to get it just on the curb this time. Flicking it to the right, getting on throttle, just taking as much of the track as possible. Braking after these cones on the right and holding the brakes to slow down, and then going back on the throttle, and then braking down to second here. And then just waiting, don't hit that inside curb on the right, otherwise you'll just go wide and you can't go on the throttle. But you've got to hug it nicely so where you can go on full throttle. Here, braking on this curb and on the left, don't do what I do here where you brake and then turn when you get close to the corner. Try brake in a straight line, because that's the main mistake. I didn't learn this until after the races I've done, because it will just make you go wide. But then heading into the Schumacher S, just a little lift. I don't think you even need to brake. And here, braking at the 100-meter board. Careful not to go wide, because I think the camber does this negative camber when you get closer towards it. Here, I always go wide at this corner. I need to turn in earlier. And then heading up to one of my probably one of my favourite corners, braking at the 75-ish meter mark, and then just sending it over the curbs. And braking where the tarmac starts to go grey from the racing line. and hug the inside, and then yeah, just full throttle. But so far, I have been really enjoying, like even during the practice, I was really enjoying driving it because it just felt like a fun car to drive. So obviously, we're going in the race and the qualifying. You might notice on the bottom left, it's only one other driver. Yeah, the low fuel motorsport was a bit dead at this time of day. But it was actually night time, but it was not a lot of people. Yeah, I was planning on getting another qualifying run, but this lap here was my best. It wasn't a great run. So you can see I got a 2:08.3, but lucky that got me first place, I think. But here in the race, I've skipped most of it. It was a 30-minute race. But here's the only main thing that happened. So I get on the grass, try brake, the rears slide out. I actually felt really bad because I thought I just killed this guy and ruined his race because he had to go back to the pits. It turns out I didn't hit him. I would have hit him unless he went like really wide, but he just like flicked the steering wheel the other way. But it was a good race actually. Like me and this guy had some great battles. We were just going side by side a lot. It was helping the safety lane as well, but it was weird because towards the end his pace just like became rapidly better. Like I was probably a second and a half faster than him at the beginning of the race, but then for the last 3 laps he was, you know, my best here was a 2:07.6, which again was invalid, but it was still roughly my pace. But he started doing like, you know, the same pace, even though he was doing like high 2:08s earlier. So yeah, on the last few laps it put me under a bit of pressure, but I did have enough of a gap and it was fine. So it was a good race, but again, against only one other guy, it's not a lot. So there was another the next day I did another race and there was 14 people this time. So heading in qualifying, I'll just show you the best lap. Heading into the race, the one thing about low fuel motorsport as well, you get a full formation lap. I don't know if they would do that on the full Nordschleife track, because I think that'd be a very long hot lap, a very long out lap. Just getting ready for the lights now, just trying to get a good start. and it's not great. It's not great reaction time. I'm not used to these types of rolling starts, but everyone got the same sort of run. So I'm about, I think, 10th or 9th. I qualified 9th for this. McLaren's gone ahead of me, so I want to go down the inside a bit and hopefully keep my 9th place that I qualified at. I do keep it. And then there's this Ginetta, I think call it Ginetta. I'm looking to go around the outside of him, but I go wide and that opens the door for the McLaren. But I have the outside line, which now turns into the inside line for this upcoming right-hander, and he's not far enough ahead, so my position is safe. I'm still in 9th, but I want to get more. Yeah, so I'm looking up ahead at this Ginetta car. I can see that they're going wide at some points. They're braking a bit too late. So hopefully I want to overtake them too, and they go wide again for this hairpin. So again, he's all over the McLaren, which gives him poor exit. I almost run into the back of him, but I've got the outside line. But luckily, this McLaren gives me a bit of slipstream. I just about give him enough space on the exit, and then yeah, he just backs out, which is probably smart. It's pretty dumb to send it down the inside of this chicane. But then heading up to this corner, the McLaren and the Mustang, the Chevrolet, whatever it's called, brake late. And then I did check the replay as I tag him, and he didn't like crash or anything, so he's fine. I did check the replay. I gave him space. He just didn't want to use it all. Yeah. So for the rest of this race, it's mainly the Mustang, the Camaro. Is it called? It's a Chevrolet, but I know it's a Camaro, isn't it? The Camaro GT4. Because the Ginetta behind, eventually they fall off. So it's mainly just them I'm focusing on. I just need to keep with them. I think we're probably about the same pace. Maybe he's a little bit faster, but I think he also makes a load more mistakes when I'm a lot more consistent than he is. As I go deep, but luckily we both go deep, and I think that hurts him a lot more because he goes deep as well on that corner. So I can just set up a better exit. Yeah, skipping to lap 5, again, nothing happened, the car behind just dropped off. I'm just sticking with this GT4 ahead, but I think if you look ahead at that Aston Martin, he goes very, very deep. He goes so far deep, he goes into the gravel trap, which brings him in slipstream range of, I think just about, so he's about a second and a half ahead of the Camaro. So again, for the next few laps, I just need to stay with them, and then I need to hope that they just fight. And then if they fight, then maybe I can overtake one of them, or maybe both of them. Again, this Camaro is all over the back of the Aston Martin. Has a little look on the chicane, but I think that did scare the Aston a bit. So I think they floored the throttle on the exit and then went deep. So again, this is great because they were faster than me, but because they were fighting and making mistakes, it kept me just right behind them. Again, a few laps later, I've managed to stay with them as they're just going side by side. So, but unfortunately, I do go deep, so I can't really use this moment to get closer to them. But the Camaro is going for a move down the inside, and I think he just brakes a bit too deep and then causes contact with the Aston. Luckily, they don't spin, but they go off. Which screws over the Aston because now he's a second behind, but I've overtaken both of them. So now I just need to defend from them as long as possible, but again they are faster and it's just the Camaro behind me. So now it's just all about defending, but unfortunately the Camaro just goes down the inside. I know that he's faster, so it is what it is. I don't want to fight too much and then cause the Aston to catch back up, otherwise then we're kind of both just going to get screwed over. Heading into the chicane, he does go a bit wide, which does open the door for me a little bit, and he just goes absolutely flying off the track. He just gets spooked, I guess, of me being there, which then brings him just behind the Aston Martin. So I just need to keep a bit of pace. But one thing I was looking at is the bottom right of my screen at the fuel levels. I thought I might not make it to the end, so then I had to start using some fuel saving. And one thing I'd recommend about fuel saving is never do it on corners you're not confident on. Like here, I did it on this corner and I'm not great at this corner, and then I've just went really deep, which again that 1.2 second lead I had is now 3 tenths. So we've only got 3-ish laps left, 3 laps, so I just need to defend as long as possible. heading into the final lap. I know I have enough fuel now. It's just about keeping the Aston behind, not making any mistakes. Yeah, and heading into this corner one more time, he's 2 tenths behind. He could send it, and it does look like he does that, but I think what he tried doing was braking late to set up the exit and try to overtake me through this final corner, but luckily in the end it ended up fine. Yeah, in the end I went from P9 to P5. It was actually a really good race, and I like, this was a really great race. It was fun driving these cars. That's the only thing I hope about ACC, well, low fuel motorsports as well, is they just get more populated servers, I guess.